In this lesson, we'll cover how to add, compare, and make decisions using operators. Let's dive in. Let's start with math, the kind your calculator does. So in Kotlin, the math operators are the same, just like on your calculator, your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, they are the same. So let's look at how to perform addition. So 8 plus. So you use your plus symbol for performing that calculation, and if you run it, the result is 12. Addition is quite straightforward. It's just adding two numbers together. You can also store them in variable. So you can have first score is equal to, let's say, 90. Second score, we can have total score. Then we print the total score. Yeah, so first score plus second score will give you 168. So let's look at subtraction. So we have 8 minus 7, which will give us 2. So 9 minus 7 will give us 2. You can also subtract the second score from the first score. Second score minus first score. And if we print, yeah, so this is the result. Let's look at multiplication. So to multiply stuff, we don't use X symbol as we all know. We use star, this one. So to perform multiplication, let's say product is equal to 9 times 3, which will give us 27. So we print the product. So that's it, 27. So let's look at division. So for the division, we don't have this symbol directly on our keyboard. So to perform division, we use the /. So just like doing 1/2, we can have print ln 4/2. So that's how you divide it. And then the result is 2. So let's do another division. So let's say we are dividing 3 by 2. You use your $sign and then you bring your curly bracket inside of it. 3 divided by, this should return 1.5. But the division in Kotlin is not like the one we have on our calculator where you have 3 divided by 2, which is equal to 1.5. So this one does not give you the remainder, the fractional or the decimal part. It does not bring it. It just tells you how many times the second number goes into the first number. That's all. So if you want to get the fractional part, there's another operator for that, which is called modulo operator. You use the modulus or the remainder operator, which is percentage. So let's copy this line and then paste it below and then change the / to the percentage symbol. So when we run it, you have this. So this is the division. When you divide this by this, how many times will 2 go into 3? It will go into it once. And what remains? It will remain 1. So the result is 1. So we can try a different version again. And let's see. So now we are using 9. And then here, 9. So 2 will go into 9 4 times. 4 times 2 will give you 8, remaining 1. So the modulus operator will give you the remainder. Now let's look at how to compare things. You want to check if someone is older than someone in programming. You want to check if someone is maybe of age. So you want to check, is it 18 years to allow the person to join the platform. Let's say it's an adult content application you are building. For example, your Facebook and X, it requires that you be of a certain age to be on Facebook or TikTok and all that. So how do you check? Those applications perform checks in the background to make sure that you meet those age. So how do you check? Just like from our math or basic school, the less than, greater than that we do, it is the same in Kotlin. So first, we'll check for equality. So we want to check if something is equal to the other. So I want to check if 10 and 9 are equal. So to do that, I'll say 10 equal to 9. I'm asserting whether 9 is equal to 10, and let's run it. So you see the result, false. So 9 is never equal to 10. So you use two equal to symbols to check if two things are equal. The reason why we use the equal to symbol is that when we were creating variable, we created the container and then dropped the value or the item in the container using the equal to symbol, a single equal to symbol. So since we are already using it for assignment, when you want to compare, we don't use the same symbol, we use the double equal to sign. So remember the difference. The next is not equal to. So how to check if something is not equal to the other. That one, we use the not equal symbol. So for the not equal, we use exclamation sign and then the equal to sign. So you put the exclamation sign right before the equal to symbol. So let's look at an example. We have our print. So we are coming to assert if 10 is not equal to 9, is not equal to 10. Yep, and there we have it. 9 is not equal to 10, so it's true. But here we are saying 9 is equal to 10, and that's false. So our result is right. It can be variables. These are just numbers, but you can store all this in variable. For example, I can use let me copy paste this. So I can use first score. So that's it. The first, they are not the same numbers. We don't expect them to be equal. So they are not equal. So the result is true. So you can use variable or the numbers directly. It is the same. The next one is greater than. So this is our greater than symbol, and it's just like before. I'll just copy this line and paste it. And then we are coming to compare if this, the 9 is greater than this, and the result, guess it, false. Same way we can check for less than. So I'll copy this and paste below, and then we have less than symbol. All right, so yeah, for sure 9 is less than 10. So if you run it, you get true. All right. So we can also check whether it is greater than or equal to. You remember those questions back from school when they ask you, is something greater or equal to? We have a symbol for that one too, and it's combination of one of this, greater than or equal. It's just the combination of greater and then equal to symbol, greater or equal. Is 9 greater or equal to 10, which is false. So we have less than or equal to. It is less than. So you change the less than. Yeah, less than. Then you come here, change it to less than. For sure, 9 is less than 8. So we have true. And let me show you if it is equal. So in case it is equal, let me make it 10 by 10. It is equal. So that one will be true. Yeah. So anything from negative infinity up to 10 will be true. But anything above this will be false. So it's more like asking a question. Is this equal to that? Is this bigger than that? Those kind of questions. How do you resolve them in programming? So you use the comparison operators. If you want to use equality, you use this. Not equal, you use this. Greater than, less than, greater or equal to, less than or equal. This is how you do it. Finally, let's look at operator called logical operators. Now, let's say you want to check two things at the same time. That's where logical operators come in. For example, you want to give a reward only if a score is above 70 and the person is a student. That's a two condition. First, you are checking that the person score is 70 and you're also interested if the person is a student, then you award the person. So to check that, I can create a variable called score and assign 75 to it. Now I'll create a different variable called is student and then set it to true. Now that you have this, so I want to check if the score is above 70 and then it's a student. To do that, I can do this. So the score will have to be greater than 70 and is student. So when we run it, we have true. So this is what we are using to combine the two questions. So this is a student. It's like a question. At the end of the day, it returns Boolean, true or false. So for the comparison operators, they return true or false. The final result, when you compare whatever you want to compare, the final result is either true or false. So the final result is of type Boolean. When you are using this operator, it's called the AND operator. So you are checking if this is true and if this one is true. So both sides have to be true. This side has to be true. Here too must be true in order for this operator to work. So if I turn this to false, so it means when you check this, it is greater than 70, but this one is false. So the reward will be false when we run it. So this guy will not be rewarded because he or she is not a student. So you use the AND operator. If two conditions, it's just like English, we have something called compound sentences. You construct compound sentence by joining simple sentences using and, but, those conjunction. So in the same way, if you want to join two conditions, then you can combine it using the AND operation. And this condition, both sides of the operator must be true. So the left side must be true and the right side must be true in order for this to be true. We have the opposite of this called the OR operator. So this one, it just need one side to be true. So I'll just copy paste this one and then we change this one to OR operator. So the OR operator uses two pipes. So when we run it, you have this. Yeah. So at least one has to be true. So the score is greater than 75. So at least one of these has to be true and the whole thing will be true. If I turn it to 80, now this one is false, this is false. So the whole thing will become false. See, the whole thing will become false. And if I change the student to true, now here is true and this is false and it will be true. Yeah, it is true. So this one, you just need at least one of them to be true. So my question to you is that what will happen if here is true and here is true? What will be the result? Drop it in the comment section and let's continue. So now you've learned how to use arithmetic operators. That's the addition, the subtraction, multiplication, division, and the remainder. We've also looked at comparison operators like the equal to and all that. And finally, the logical operators for combining simple comparison. If this was helpful, give it a like, subscribe,